doing more things than the guards. They're posting up, they're defending, they're shooting threes. So this is a great time for the big for the NBA for big men.
Well, someone who's always been Jokic has always been compared to is Kristaps Porzingis, and he continued this streak of brilliant game after brilliant game. Against the Hornets, he scored 28 points on 10 for 15 from the floor, 4 threes. Do you see him continuing this tear through the season that he's set up so far?
Yeah, I definitely do, because I think being with Melo, he saw how to go hard and how to be relentless, but now he's having success and he's carrying the team as himself and they're winning. I think that's helping him get the confidence he needs to be that star player. And, you know, what's good about it is in New York, now you have a guy that you can hang your organization on, a guy that's playing well, wants to win. He's showing you that he's going to be a star, and it's erasing all the bad talk with Phil Jackson, all that stuff that was going on. So I'm happy for him. I think this kid is going to be, especially when he gets a jump shot, a real down-pack jump shot, he's going to be unstoppable.
He's got a great jump shot in his defense. He blocked Cody Zeller in 3 straight field goal attempts in 1 possession in the last game.
You can't teach that.
It's just so hard to jump and jump and jump and jump like that.
And he showed emotion afterwards. I love to see that.
I feel like you mentioned him showing emotion. I watched a lot of Knicks games. I lived in New York for a long time, and I felt like that was sort of held back a little bit because he was so clearly not the leader of the team with Carmelo Anthony there. But now he is leader of the team. I feel like he's coming into his own with his personality and his leadership role. Obviously, Jarrett Jack has a lot to do with leadership and keeping them all together. But he is clearly the future of the franchise in Kristaps Porzingis, and there's finally something to be excited about in New York City.
When he can be himself, I think that's what they want. And like I said, everything he's doing right now is exciting to see. So the upside is great for him.
He just needs to stop sliding the DMs of Instagram models. He just needs to slow down.
No.
Come on, Kristaps.
Man, getting Rihanna, getting whoever DMs you want to, and if you don't get in Rihanna's DM, then DM her for me. All right.
When we come back, Steven Jackson in for Jalen Rose on Jalen Jacoby. We're going to talk about Jimmy Butler in a canoe.
JB.
Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Steven Jackson in for Jalen Rose, who's out of town. Make sure you check him on NBA Countdown in Boston. Here with me now, Steven Jackson. In the woods with Sam Alapur is Jimmy Butler. Canoeing, s'moresing, and he had a mishap with the canoe. Let's watch.
With no fish. That sound, that scream, Jimmy. I got to talk to you about that.
Does he know how deep the water is?
Well,
the water is 18 inches deep.
Well, hey, and for Jimmy's defense, hey, growing up in black neighborhoods and black households, we were taught you can drown over a teaspoon of water. And most black people can't swim, so I'd have been panicking right along with him.
He insisted, let's watch again. He insisted on having 2 life jackets, Steven. He insisted on 2 life jackets.
But
look at the water. You cannot drown in that. You know you're close to the shore. He's looking at Sam. Sam's ankle deep in the water.
I'm more worried about the screams.
I let out those screams, though. I let out those screams. You know when you get scared or something, or you see like a mouse. In New York, when a rat would run past me in the street, I would make the worst scream. You look around to hope that no one listened. Well, in the same episode, he actually talked about basketball and his exit from Chicago. He sounds a little salty. Let's listen.
You're not the kind of player teams make available. Why do you think they made you available?
I probably went about a lot of things the wrong way. People don't work as hard as I do, and they don't expect the same things out of the game that I do. And that's my fault, and I've learned from that. And I said from the beginning it was either going to be me or the Fred Hoiberg route, and rightfully so, they took Fred. Good for them. I got that game marked on my calendar, February 9th, baby, I'm back.
So he's got that game marked on his calendar. He knows the date and everything. What is that feeling? Did you ever do that? Did you ever have those days?
Going back to the Pacers, I gave them 36. Going back to the Warriors after they traded them, I gave them 30. I think you look forward to that. You look forward to going back and showing them what they're missing or what they got rid of. I think, but for Jimmy's one of my favorite players in the league because he plays on both ends of the court. And going back to Chicago, he's going to look to have a big game. And every player that takes pride in the game, or every player that wants to win or loves the game, they want to go back and have that big game. And any player that doesn't, I'm not that type of guy. I want to get that revenge game.
Well, one of the things that's been successful so far with him on the Timberwolves is he has sort of deferred to Karl Anthony Towns and Wiggins and sort of shared the ball and focused on defense. Do you think that will change on that night when they go to Chicago?
I mean, it would change on that night as far as the other team because, as his teammates want to see him play well against his previous team. I know every time I went back, my teammates fed me the ball to make sure I have a good game.
Would they say something to you before the game?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This your night. You want to have? Let's go have a good night. You know, and that's how it's supposed to be. And you want your teammates to support you, but deferring to those young guys, I think is smart. You know, that's why Jimmy's a great player. That's why a lot of teams want him. That's why he's an all-star, because he buys in and he understands winning is more important. And having these young guys at the top of their game is the only way that Minnesota's going to be successful. He's going to do his part, but having those young guys at the top of their game, that's what they need.
And they've been successful so far. A team that's been successful so far in a shocking way has been your San Antonio Spurs. Without Kawhi Leonard. Now it looks like Kawhi Leonard might not come back for even longer. They've managed to not just stay afloat, but to succeed. How are they doing that?
They've been doing it for years. You know, finding guys to plug in, finding the right guys to play. I think Rudy Gay's been great. Having Rudy Gay in, you know, another scorer that can kind of fill in for Kawhi. But I'm never worried, you know, when Pop or when Will Seventy, which is their trainer, when they're involved. You know, I think they're going to always do what's best for the player and what's best for the team, even if it means sitting Kawhi out and not having him for a lot of games. And it's going to help him in the long run. I think Pop cares more about the player than the actually playing, and that's what I love about Pop.
That's the thing is people that have been around Pop just believe in him through and through. But when they do things like sign Pau Gasol for that contract they signed him for, like, don't you have to look at that and be like, well, really?
No.
How?
I don't, because I think he knows that Paul's going to bring something that they need to be successful. I mean, one thing about, like I said, I'll never question Pop, but my only question is me knowing Kawhi as a brother, me knowing Kawhi as a basketball player and as a friend. I know how much he loved the game. I know how he wants to be one of the best ever, and not playing all this time I know it's bothering him. So it's kind of worrying me to see him miss so many games because I know how much he wants to play.
We have to talk about it. LiAngelo Ball.
Yeah.
Was in China.
Yep.
With a couple teammates. One named Jalen. Jalen Hill. And his other teammate, Cody Riley. They were at the Louis Vuitton store. They reportedly left with sunglasses that they did not pay for. They've been arrested. There's bail. The authorities are involved. The question is this. Do you think they all stole a pair of sunglasses, or one of them stole a pair of sunglasses?
If one stole a pair, they're even more idiots than I thought. If you go into jail for one pair of glasses, you all can't wear one pair of glasses.
But that's kind of what I feel is happening, because it'd be even stranger to think you're going to get away with all three of you stealing a pair of sunglasses.
Well, why are you stealing glasses when you? Last month, you guys, the Ball brothers were pulling up in Ferraris and all kind of stuff to the parties, but you're stealing glasses.
So I think that one of them stole the glasses. So then let's put yourself in that person's shoes.
Who's snitching?
Don't you just cop to it to get your boys out? Like, let's say it is Jalen that stole the glasses. I have no idea.
Right.
Don't you say Cody had nothing to do with it, he didn't even know. LiAngelo had nothing to do with it, he didn't know. This is on me. Don't you do that?
A real one? You know what I would have said? If it say Steven stole the glasses. Yeah, I stole them. I don't even know who else. I didn't see nobody else there. There wasn't nobody else there. I was by myself. Yes. You don't implicate your brothers. You don't snitch.
It seems like all three of them. It seems like all three of them are in trouble for this one pair of sunglasses. I don't know if that's true. It's even stranger if all three of them think they can get away with stealing sunglasses, especially from the Louis Vuitton store. You think they don't have security at the Louis Vuitton store?
Look, I got friends that's been in cars with a lot of drugs, and they take the case for their friend. If you can't take the case for some glasses, something wrong with you, okay? Something wrong with you. You're not my friend.
I just want to thank you so much for coming through.
Anytime.
We always appreciate that.
My pleasure,
I'll
man.
take the glasses wrap for you any day.
Any day. I got your back, too.
Coming up next, Amin and I are going to keep it moving.
My boy Amin.
Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell. I don't eat a lot of fast food. I try to be healthy, but every once in a while, man, I love me some Mexi Melts.
Stop at Taco Bell for some Mexican eating.
Every time a road team wins in the NBA Finals, you can
Stop at Taco Bell for some Mexican eating.
for free. They're giving away Doritos Locos Tacos every time a road team wins.
But what about if the Taco Bell was closed?
I think we should do the rest of this show in this voice. Welcome back to to Jalen Jacoby. I want to thank Steven Jackson for coming on in lieu of Jalen Rose, and now we have another guest, a reoccurring guest, Amin El Hassan. Thanks so much for coming by.
This is my TV debut, by the way.
Always appreciate you doing this.
Yeah.
Well, good. We have a game called Keep It Moving. You're familiar. If it's worth talking about, you say hit the brakes and we discuss it. But a lot is not worth talking about, and me, you, and Meth Men just keep it moving. First, Nikola Mirotic and Bobby Portis are still not talking. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Oh, hit the brakes, man.
On his first public comments after the fight last month, Portis said he texted and called Mirotic but did not hear back. And there's reports from Mirotic's camp that there was some sort of him or me kind of thing.
Right.
That Nikola Mirotic is laying down the law.
Yeah.
What do you think about this?
I think it's weird, right? Because on the one hand, we're like, come on, Mirotic, who are you to lay down ultimatums, right? On the other hand, I posed this question the day that story came out on Twitter. How do you feel about that? Showing up to work to someone who whooped your tail.
Well, one of the reports were that Mirotic was the aggressor in the altercation.
He started.
So I think it sounds like if that's true, that Mirotic was the aggressor in the altercation and ended up getting punched in the face and hurt, someone in Mirotic's camp needs to tell him, not the Bulls to get rid of Portis, needs to tell him, like, look, man, this is just bygones. Like, let's just keep moving on.
But that's my thing. It's regardless of who's at fault, can you go back to work and just be like, all right, what's going on? Oh, yeah. Nice today.
Oh, no problem. I don't hold grudges like that. Like, whatever.
I could see that being awkward, like, especially someone sent you to a hospital. Like, the idea of working with a coworker who has wronged you, I guess, in one way or another, even if you had it coming, I don't know. I don't know how people do it.
I think one of the big differences is if you're Portis, is like, not only did you provoke me to punch you in the face, but you cost me money. Like, you got paid.
Yep.
Nikola Mirotic got paid through the whole thing. But Portis, that's a big chunk.
You know what also happened? By both of them being out, Lauri Markkanen got to play.
And now he's blown up.
He wildly picked both of them.
I always wanted Lauri Markkanen to be good. Next, the Polish government says its population is shrinking, and they literally asked their citizens to multiply like rabbits. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Keep it moving. This is a Disney platform, okay?
A gas-addicted monkey was caught drinking fuel from parked motorcycles. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
You know where I'm going. Hit the brakes.
Motorcyclists in Thailand say after work they would repeatedly find their motorcycles being drained of fuel by an unknown thief. And they found out that it was a monkey. I actually have some personal experience with this. No monkey has stolen gas from my vehicle, but I have been to Thailand, and I will say they've got some aggressive monkeys there, man. What? Monkeys that are used to being around people. We don't have monkeys here. In other countries, when they're used to being around people, they can be very aggressive.
Well, how did it learn to siphon?
Great point.
I don't know how to siphon.
I never understood the physics of siphoning. It's like, oh, you put this hose in here, and all of a sudden it magically defies gravity. You suck a little bit? I never understood how it works. Yeah, I don't want gas in my mouth. I'll go to the gas station. I'll walk. Next. Kanye West may be starting his own streaming service. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Keep it moving. I got fatigued.
Drake wants to spend $160,000 on a Harry Potter book. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Keep it moving. I care not for Harry Potter.
Uber is planning on launching a, self-flying car service by 2020.
We gotta hit the brakes on that one.
All right. Uber has partnered with NASA to develop Uber Air. The idea is that you will open the app, make a reservation, and get the next flying sky taxi. Can I say something about this? I've been involved with a lot of projects in my life and my career.
Right.
Do you know what they don't do? They don't launch on time. You know, it's like by 2020 we'll be flying around in Uber cars.
But no, my favorite thing is it's assuming that regular Uber, they're doing fine. Yeah, and so we gotta start looking forward to other stuff to do.
How about this? Like, let's start with the driver that doesn't ask me a million questions. Yes. I've only given one-word answers. Let's make sure we get chargers in every one. And don't smell. Let's start there before they start flying around by themselves.
You know, like small, achievable goals.
Baby steps, Uber. Like, let's not partner with NASA. First, let's partner with an air freshening company. Let's just start small. Let's start small, Uber. We'll always be your consultant. Uber, we will be your consultants. Amin El Hassan, David Jacoby, we will help you reach out. We don't charge much. We'll be less than NASA. Thank you so much for coming by and sitting in for Jalen.
Oh, man.
We'll be back tomorrow. You'll be back tomorrow.
I will.